that penalties decline. The Chiefs did recover the backwards pass and take over first down.
So there is the ruling on the field, the first turnover of the game, and the Chiefs recover it, and the Chiefs are going to win as a result of a chaotic play on 3rd and 2. Nick Bolton recovers it, and Kansas City will take a knee and punch their ticket to the playoffs.
Play at the end with the fumble and kind of what your view of it was and referee's explanation. A little confusing.
Yeah, it wasn't confusing from our standpoint. We were good with it. They had to clarify a couple things, but it was a fumble, and they just wanted to make sure they had all the bases covered.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but obviously a big stop and a big moment. It got us the win there, yeah, I mean, we gotta execute better in the fourth quarter, so it doesn't come down to that. Just too many mistakes at the end of the day. I felt like there was times offensively we moved the ball, didn't execute in the red zone, didn't execute enough on 3rd down, but too many mistakes. We got to clean that up if we want to get to where we want to go.
Good morning. Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Let me tell you something. When I tell you things are off to a magnificent start, I mean it.
They absolutely are.
Things are going smoother than a baby's bottom right now. And let me tell you this, though. Hopefully, everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving break, Thanksgiving holiday. I have not been on the show. We've not had a show since Wednesday, so we took a little step back, a little time for ourselves. Although, we grind, okay? Leabo and I right here, we grind. On Friday, we were out at Arrowhead working the game for you, the game between the Chiefs and the Raiders at Arrowhead.
Was that just this week?
Yeah.
God, that seems like a long time ago.
And so, man, I packed a lot of stuff into the last few days, which is good. Wednesday night, I was lucky enough to go watch Richie, my son, play bass in the band Dolomite. You know, he plays for Dolomite. They played at the Uptown Theater, and that was a thrill because it's the Uptown Theater, and there was I thought about you. I need to show you this website. No, not that website, different one.
Different one.
There's a website that has tried to keep pretty good track
of who else played there.
All the people that have played there and the dates that they played. And I'm going back into the early 70s, and it was like jaw hit the floor, like, wow.
Wild stuff.
Wow. And I like to do that, you know, when he played, like he had a chance to play the Midland one time, and he's played different places. And I'll, hey, man, you know, he respects that, you know. He's
take the Midland and say, you know, Uncle Jake thinks he watched a concert here once.
That's right. And I said, well, look at all the people that worked here at the Uptown. And the cool thing is, his godfather, Anthony Gialdi, his uncle Joe was.
I heard Anthony doesn't know anything about baseball.
Wow,
that's true.
Pretty much. Now he's starting to warm up to the Brady Singer trade.
He's fine. Oh, is he?
Because now he thinks Brady Singer, rightly so, may have some bumps in the road at that ballpark in Cincy.
All right, then.
Remember that. Long story short, Anthony's Uncle Joe was a real good friend of mine and was always in our fantasy baseball leagues and was an amateur musician. But he would buy guitars and basses and things like that. And that's what he did, you know. And so when he passed away when a day after my daughters were born. Never forget that. And Joe was a close friend. And so he left Anthony several of his guitars and basses, and Anthony's like, man, I don't play anything. I don't know what to do. And so then, you know, Richie started to grow up and become a musician, Richie was his godson. Anthony gifted him a couple of these. Like I'm talking, you'd appreciate it. Like real nice high end stuff. And so now the bass that Richie uses was a gift from Anthony that his uncle played, and his uncle a long time ago used to work at the Uptown.
How about that?
And so then Richie's on stage at the Uptown playing that bass, and that was like a really super cool moment. And then before the show, I'm sitting out there with Richie because he came out to talk to. It was me and Susan and Selena. I said, not for nothing, but in 4.5 months we'll be here watching Jack White. And Jack White's one of his top musical influences. I think
that was also smooth as silk. So easy.
No, that's wonderful.
So many passwords.
And I'm just gonna tell you again, fellas. I don't know how recent you've been at the Uptown, but I was there at the Uptown just looking at it through the lens of Jack White's gonna be here. I can't wait till
it's
April.
Gonna be awesome.
I'm not wishing time away, but guys, April's gonna be wonderful for us.
I was there sometime in the last year.
It's gonna be wonderful.
I can't remember what I watched though. It's bad news if I can't remember what I watched. Oh, no. Here I saw The Cult.
Oh,
how about that?
See,
that was very cool.
Well, I don't know why you didn't remember it though.
Well, I just remembered it now.
Jack White is gonna melt our faces off.
It's gonna be great
at the Uptown. I'm just gonna tell you, we'll need to be bandaged.
Yes.
Later.
First aid care.
So that was great. Wednesday, Thursday. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Richie hosted. He got very frustrated with me at one point because I wanted him to heat me up a tamale, but he was out also working on the turkey. But you know what? Hey, I like to push his buttons.
You want big grown up, buddy.
But you know what? He did an outstanding job. We had that Friday. We worked at the game. Saturday, celebrated my birthday, watching Dola White again out at Brewtop, Overland Park, and me and the missus got a hotel room
in Overland Park.
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday!
It was my birthday. That's what I wanted. You know, I wanted to be alone with my wife.
52, they say, is the big one.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And then Sunday, came home and watched football and spent time with the kids. So I had a wonderful break, and hopefully you did too. Let's get to what we need to touch on Friday because we haven't talked about Friday yet. It was another
dominant performance.
Another game where, as you know, the same thing happened towards the end of the Denver game, as I was muttering to myself. Well, you know, you weren't there for Denver, were you?
No.
I was muttering to Sterling as we were standing there as Denver was preparing to kick the game-winning field goal. I'm like, I just can't believe they lost to the Broncos. This sucks. I hate this.
It's unbelievable.
And the locker room's going
to suck. How could they do this?
And then they didn't, right? And so then, as the Raiders are driving,
moving down the field, they're going to lose this game.
I go, oh, Jesus, I can't believe they're going to lose to the Raiders at home again. This sucks. I don't get mad and have this. Again, I still can't believe some of the reactions I see on social media. I should just stab myself in the eyes with pencils instead of reading some of this crap. But anyway, but because I know they could lose this game, they could lose another game, they could not get the 1 seed and still win the Super Bowl because there's a switch that they flip in the postseason. But I'm just watching this play out, and I mutter over to you. I'm like, jeez, I can't believe they're going to lose to the Raiders again. This locker room's going to suck. And when I say this locker room's going to suck,
Doink.
We're going to go in there, and people, and players are just going to be getting the hell out of there, not wanting to talk. We won't be able to get very many interviews. It's going to be a bad vibe, blah, blah, blah. You know, and it was Selena was there out there at the game, her first game of the year. Phil brought his girlfriend for her first game ever, and Susan was there. And I'm like, I don't want them to be sad.
Susan did not look cold when we were looking at her through binoculars.
Oh, she was bundled up. She loved it.
Puffy red something.
Right.
Yeah, just snap it right off.
Right. And
right off his chest. I mean, why not?
And as we're talking about this, whatever the hell that was,
it's just right there.
Penalty, snap off the chest.
There was confusion because we couldn't, and then the referee's explanation didn't quite jive with exactly what happened because he said the backwards pass.
Yeah.
Is that what we're calling snaps now?
Backwards
passes?
What backwards pass just happened?
It's just a snap.
And the Chiefs somehow win another game.
But the Raiders fully owned the fact that, AOC was just like, I was clapping. I shouldn't have been clapping. And the
guard touched the center on the shoulder.
And he snapped it. I mean, it was just a breakdown on what you're supposed to do to get the snap done. And luckily for the Chiefs, I mean, the ball almost got recovered by the Raiders, and it squirted through, and Nick Bolton was there. Johnny on the spot recovered it. And that was over just like that. I mean, it's just now there was no guarantee that Carlson was going to make a kick.
He wasn't going to make the field goal. If it just would have been a penalty, if it would have been a false start, he wasn't making it. He didn't have the leg on that day because it would have been like 55 at that point, right?
It was long. The kickers were not kicking it long on that day. Nobody was. But then the Raiders are just they're the team that loses those games. The Chiefs are the team that wins those games. That's what was so weird about last Christmas, that the Chiefs did not win that game. But this year, they're just winning those games. And I don't know how, but they are. And that was a wild deal. And they won. And listen, they weren't happy. They know that they got a lot of work to do. There's no question about that. This team, if they play that way against some good teams, there's going to be trouble. But I fully expect them to be much better this Sunday. Now, I've said that 3 weeks in a row.
But I really don't care. They keep winning, and so it's just win. And then ultimately everything will be judged on what happens in the postseason.
That's right.
Period.
Now, you shouldn't wish away time.
Right.
Like we don't want to wish away time to get to April 4th to watch Jack White.
I want them to get the 1 seed, but I'm not going to overreact to anything that happens in the regular season. I'm just not.
And I've said this for about 6 years in a row. Don't wish away the regular season just to get to the postseason, because it is still an opportunity to watch Patrick Mahomes play and Travis Kelce play and Chris Jones, who was great the other day, play. You know, if you're going to go spend the money and go out there to Arrowhead Stadium to watch the team, don't wish those games away.
Tell you, they drove to the game with me, and I was trying to explain to Phil's girlfriend where my Chiefs fandom comes from. And
how
and
long
Phil,
into that did she glaze over in the eyes and go?
I didn't ask
for all this.
But no, it was good. I go right to the good stuff, because Phil said, Phil's like, tell her about your grandpa. I said, okay, all right. We're gonna go there. You sure you want to know that about that part of the family? Not that I don't want to tell her about my grandfather, but about how his anger.
Yes.
And I told the story about how he had some family, some cousins in from California during the holidays, during a game between the Chiefs and the Raiders, and he warned them. He goes, "You can watch the game." He did not want them to watch the game at his house, even though they were staying there.
You can watch it,
but he warned him. He said, "You watch it." He goes, do not cheer.
Not in my home.
Do not root for the Raiders. Do not say anything. And something happened, and they started cheering for the Raiders, right? And he goes, I told you, one more time, don't do it. And, oh, Danny, come on, And something happened, and they cheered again. Words were exchanged, and he threw him out of the house.
Bye-bye.
And they had to go to a hotel.
Sorry, family. Go.
And people look at you, oh, you're making. No, I'm not. And I'm not saying that was the right thing to do.
That's just what happened.
And I'm not defending it. I'm telling you it happened, and that's where and the sports fan that's most responsible is my mother and my grandfather. My dad really wasn't a big sports fan, so my grandfather was the one who taught me about the Chiefs and the Raiders. This is why we hate the Raiders. This is why we love the Chiefs. This is why we love the Royals. All these things, I saw it through his eyes. And so that's how meaningful that is. And so, like I was telling Phil, I was telling her, we don't take any of this for granted. Every time we play the Raiders, we watch the Chiefs play the Raiders, we want to win. And it doesn't matter what their record is or what the Chiefs' record is. Don't take it for granted. When they play the Broncos, the Chargers, it's fine. I don't feel the same, but whatever. But when the Chiefs play the Raiders, that means something. That means something to me, and it does. And I refuse to take that for granted, because in life, it wasn't always a given that the Chiefs would beat the Raiders. In my life, and there's going to be a sad time in the future, where the Raiders might have a better franchise than the Chiefs.
It can happen.
It ain't happening anytime soon. I don't think it's happening as long as the bowl haircut's in charge. By the way, great moment standing in line to get into the locker room. I don't know if you saw this on Snapchat. Here comes a smiling Leabo.
I'm walking right in front of you. I saw you.
And Mark Davis is walking behind you. And you smiled. Mark Davis saw me recording. He went there.
Yeah.
smiled and head nodded.
A quick
like,
smile, hiding
hey,
it, you know.
I give you a little head nod.
this guy over here.
Look what's behind me.
Dude, when you saw that, what was your reaction?
Oh,
right when
I
you saw
watched
that?
it 10 times. I still screenshot it.
It's good, right?
It's great. I have a picture. I meant to send it, but Leabo has like giant grin, and he's like,
There he is.
And I just happen to have the Snapchat. I go, gotta get that. It just made me happy.
Oh, I screenshotted a couple
It
times
made
off
me,
your Snapchat.
I had to.
Little things make me happy, and that was it.
I
That
did
was
a
one of them.
little maneuver. There was a lot of people there because it was holiday.
I'm sending it.
In
to
the
both of you guys.
the Hunt family, they all wait at the end there by the elevators to congratulate.
This
the
guy
players.
was hot on your tail.
So I
You're so satisfied.
I
with that.
illegally, I don't know if this is illegal or not. I moved the little stanchion and snuck through because I
legal.
couldn't go
It's
around
legal.
the other way. And then I see Mark Davis coming, and I'm like, oh my God, I wanted my camera out so bad. But then I'm like, I'm walking, and I see you in the camera, and I just give you the nod.
Who came through for you? I got it.
I
Nice.
said, there he is. And then I went down and put my spare phone in the Raiders room, and I was trying to walk fast to get turned back around to get another picture of him, but it was too awkward as he's walking right
He
up
was
into
hot
the
on the
tunnel.
trail of you.
Oh
You
boy,
know.
it was great.
So
Saw
you're
him.
just sitting there, and you get up, you get notifications from my snaps, and you saw that, and what was the first reaction?
Oh, I mean, I literally watched it probably 10 times. I just sent you the picture of.
I'm just hoping. I was like, when I
It's
said
so
that,
good.
I go, that's just a small clip.
It's so
I'm thinking
good.
like Jake, and there's a handful of people. I hope
so
there's some
good.
people out there that got as much enjoyment as I just did. Because not very many people like, oh, this, you know.
I mean, I tried to get I watched it over and over again, and then I took a couple different screenshots.
Right.
It's just like I was
Oh,
like,
that's a good one.
oh, it's
No, that's
an
a-
all timer.
That's a poster.
That's an all timer.
Right. I'm just sitting
I mean,
there.
it's so good.
And Mark Davis looked at me crazy because I'm sitting there just giggling. I look as happy as a kid on Christmas
The
morning.
second one's the best. Is like Mark Davis's brows all furrowed.
Yeah,
and-
and he went. You know, this looked like this. He gave me the smile.
Give you
Like a little quick,
little
forced
nervous,
smile,
whatever.
right? You know, all I'm doing is getting footage.
Hey, it's the little things in life. I mean, you
That
know,
made me happy.
it was
Now,
good.
now the most important thing that happened as far as football out of that game was Wanye Morris just was getting his ass kicked, and then had penalties, and there was a couple of drives he was responsible for ending, right? And you know, either by giving up a sack or giving up a pressure or being called for a penalty. We saw Patrick Mahomes get frustrated and angry, and so this is why, and this is why we go. People ask, "What are you going to the locker room for and doing that stuff?" Blah blah blah. I'll tell you why, Jake. While I'm doing interviews, and trying to get different people, I wanted to get Charles Omenihu, and we'll play that because that was really good in his first interview after his first game back from injury. While I'm getting that, there's Leabo over there getting some sound from Wanye Morris, who I give a massive amount of credit to.
he didn't run away
Spoke to the media
twice
and talked about it. Right.
because he talked to Sam McDowell and me, and then later the TVs went over there and he did it again.
Because there have been gentlemen in that locker room over
Plenty.
the years that have struggled in a game and that have declined to speak about it right after the game.
Or just been gone.
And
Where
so
are
then
they?
I didn't tell you how this played out. So I waited and waited and waited, right? And I ended up getting some pretty good stuff. Like I said, talked to Omenihu for a long time. Did a real good group interview with Creed Humphrey. I talked to the punt god, Matt Arisa, because his guy's
Tackle
throwing
god.
himself around, launching himself into guys, just tackling. I said, I need to talk to you about that. And also, he's been holding for a variety of kickers, and they've
whoever's
all,
here.
so we don't take that for granted.
Yeah.
So we'll play that later. And so then waiting. And so if you don't know how this works, after a while, the interviews in the press conference room continue, but then they'll shut down the locker room. And I'm waiting. It's Matt Derrick, it's me, and maybe Nate Taylor. There's only like 3 people. And then here comes Joe Tooney out of the shower. And Matt Derrick walks over. Hey, Joe, you got time for a couple? He goes, yeah, just let me, put some clothes on. And so, okay, I'm right there with Matt. And then you hear someone from Chiefs PR, all right, that's it, we're closing it down. I'm like,
We're right here.
he just, And so I act like, Sometimes I act like maybe sometimes I do at home. I'm deaf. I can't
Don't
hear.
know.
I didn't hear that. I'm just gonna stick my microphone over here in Joe Tooney's face. He wants to talk, and I hear again. All right, we'll shut it down, and then boom, Matt Derrick asked Joe a question. Then I asked 2 or 3 questions, and we got Joe Tooney.
Yeah.
And so between me and you, we got, I think, the biggest story: Wanye Morris and Joe Tooney. And so that's how that happened. And I don't think they wanted it to happen, but thankfully they let it go through.
Yeah.
You know, and so we got the shot off. Good. And so we'll play that for you after this. We'll hear from both sides of that left tackle situation that played out on Friday
Ugly.
against the Raiders. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB.
Yeah.
I just posted on X the screenshot, the Snapchat screenshot Jake took of my Snapchat of a frustrated Mark Davis following and smiling Todd Leabo outside the Chiefs locker room. So you can enjoy that on X at SSJWHB. All right, let's hear a couple of interviews from after the game. Oh, boy. Real quick, though, college football, tough weekend for Kansas. I don't know what the hell happened against Baylor.
Baylor's hot right now.
Well, Baylor's won 6 in a row. Yeah. That was not the same Kansas team we saw against Colorado. And then tough one for K-State. Iowa State wins, and they get into the Big 12 championship game, courtesy of BYU's win over Houston. If Houston would have beat BYU, then Colorado would have got in. You had Deion Sanders Jr. on X accusing BYU's quarterback of throwing the game. A lot of good stuff in there, you know. Did you see just different people from Colorado criticizing?
But BYU won the game.
I mean, the Houston quarterback, I guess, whatever.
Houston's no good.
They were criticizing somebody.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Hey, you know what they could have done?
One.
Beaten Kansas or something, and they might have made the deal. So.
And then Missouri with Brady Cook with a dramatic game-winning touchdown run beats Arkansas 28-21.
How happy were you that you weren't in the crowd for that one? That looked like maybe one of the most miserable places to sit.
I was happy that I watched it, and I was happy that they won.
But happy to not be there.
And I'm happy that Arkansas doesn't want to be a part of this rivalry. You know what? I wouldn't either, because since Mizzou has joined the SEC, Mizzou is 9-2 against Arkansas.
And it was a treacherous drive because of the snow.
9-2
from Kansas City down
Write
there.
It down. What?
Awful driving conditions to get down there. It was just a bad, ugly deal, and I'm glad the Tigers won to make it worthwhile for the folks who made it down there.
9-2 against Arkansas. I went out also, Arkansas, just like Illinois did from the football series in St. Louis because they couldn't win a game. All right, let's hear from Wanye Morris after the game. He was benched in the fourth quarter against the Raiders, and several people caught up with him, including our very own Todd Leabo.
Got to be better, man. Got to be better in certain situations and just overall. Obviously, it's good to get the W, but I'm disappointed in myself because I know I'm better than that and I can perform better than that. So, apologize to my teammates. They did a good job lifting me up, but at the end of the day, got to go out there and be better.
Anything specific? I mean, I know there's probably a few things, but what are you specifically going to be looking at?
One penalty is you can't win and do anything going backward. And just technique-wise, when it gets late in the game and those guys know you and know what you're going to do, finding a counterattack, finding something different to come at them with. And, that just comes with experience. It comes with learning. And this is just one of those things I had to learn. So get back to the drawing board and do it again.
What did you feel like when they told you weren't going back in? I mean, what's that feel like when you're going through that during the game?
Disappointment, because as a competitor, as an athlete, this is something you dream about. This is one of those games you dream about. So just going out there and just being better, man. I got to be better for myself, for my team, for my brothers, man. I just got to be better.
What's the process of doing that over the next few days, next week, whatever it might be?
Just more film, getting in the weight room, and just working on my technique, doing things after practice, just doing more than a regular person would, the average athlete would. You got to push your limits, and it's no better time to learn when you get your ass beat. I mean, it sucks to get your ass beat, but when you get your ass beat, hey, you either can have two responses. You can lay down or you can get back up and try something new. So I'm going to get back up and try something new. So it's going to be the last.
Appreciate that.
For sure.
Pretty honest words from him.
Jake, your thoughts?
I mean, that you can't criticize that. I mean, that's what you want to hear. If you're on his team, if you're his coach, if you're a fan, I mean, I think that is the absolute perfect response. I mean, okay.
Now you got to go do it.
Now,
get
yeah,
better,
absolutely.
But
absolutely.
what else can you do?
Yeah.
That's the answer you want. That's the attitude you want, and that's the reaction you want. You're not going to quit playing football. You got to go back, watch film, figure out what you did wrong technique-wise, get in the weight room, do it. He said everything he's got to do. Now go do it.
Well, that's the thing too, because
know?
one of the things he mentioned, this is probably the thing that's so much harder in the pros. You get in the third or fourth quarter of a game, they've got your tendencies down. You're playing against good players. They know if they're set up here, you're going to go inside here, whatever. You got to be able to have a change up or mix it up. And I think he's learning those hard lessons for sure. But they just couldn't do it anymore. They couldn't they couldn't have him out there. But the other side of this
he was killing drives.
The other side of this is they couldn't put Kingsley Suamataia in there either.
No, he's a redshirt now.
But he was dressed.
Yeah, well, he's a redshirt.
He was eligible to play. He had football gear on.
Yeah.
Right. That's break glass in case of emergency.
But it wasn't first emergency.
No, that's
was
what
second
I mean.
emergency.
Like emergency would have been like Tooney, something happened to Tooney,
Right.
and then like you
Don't say that.
You need a body to go in there.
Yeah.
So Joe Tooney in the fourth quarter moves out to left tackle, and
he played a whole game at left tackle a couple of years ago when Orlando Brown got hurt in warm-ups.
He's done it. He played some last year too. Mike Caliendo moves in. Now, in the past, they had Nick Allegretti to move in at guard, who was and is a starting quality guard. Mike Caliendo is in that role now. So Caliendo comes in. Tooney goes out to left tackle. Matt Derrick and I can't remember who else is there, but we had a chance to catch up. You'll hear Matt Derrick first and then me second, talking to Joe Tooney after the game.
What's the process in game when you're making a change? Andy Heck comes over to you or something? How do you kind of find out about it and go through the process?
Yeah, just Coach Heck told me he was going to left tackle, and just, whatever I could do for the team, happy to do, and glad we got the win. So, yeah.
Do you have to prepare for that mentally during the week or physically? Or how is that so you know that if they have to make that move, you're ready?
I think, just being an offensive lineman in this league, it's just trying to, do what I can for the team, and you never know what's going to happen in a game. Things happen, and just grateful to be out there. Got a great coaching staff, great O-line, great quarterback. The whole offense was very supportive, and so it's a big group effort, and just glad I can contribute.
And so they tell you in the fourth quarter, okay, you're bumping outside. So then, what's the next thing? You just go start getting ready.
Yeah, next thing was I stood up and got a couple, practice sets, with a little more space. Just try to, keep with the fundamentals, keep decent technique as best I can, and, just try and, play through the whistle.
Do you anticipate being there going forward?
I'm just glad we got the win today, and I'm not sure, I just kind of take it day by day, and, we'll look at this film, see what we can do to get better, get our bodies back for this little couple day off, and then, go from there.
That first snap, you kind of see 98 out of the corner of your eye. And
yeah, I mean, they have a really good defense. They played really hard, and glad we got the win.
Have a lot better to work on these things after a win, though, right?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, it's hard to win in this league, and just glad we got that one today.
Hi, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you.
That was Blair Kirchhoff also in there.
Wrap it up. That's got to be a weird one because, it's one thing if you're...
Listen, people, just let me...
If you're a left tackle, something's happening. But when you're like a left guard, let's go do this.
People in the past have bitched about how much he makes. Don't do it. He's the best guard in the league, and that man can come in and play left tackle. And I can't sit here and tell you what DJ Humphries is going to do for this team. I don't know. I would love to sit here and tell you he's going to come in and solidify left tackle.
I'll listen to him at a press conference every day because he was hilarious.
Great, but I don't know. Do you know that for sure?
No, I do not.
Okay, and so there's at least a chance that Joe Tooney is going to have to play some more left tackle to help get the Chiefs through the season and into the postseason. And he can do it. Now, does he have the size you're looking for? No. Clearly he's a guard. But I just want people to appreciate what a stud he is and how much his teammates respect him. And he doesn't talk very much. He doesn't talk very much to the media. And he comes out to all the Creed Humphrey charity event that I hosted. He's there, shies away from the microphone. Really cool guy, really nice guy. Very quiet, but he is a stud. His technique is superb. He's as tough as nails. And to have that, just to have that option, to tell him, hey, we need you to, in the middle of the fourth quarter, can you just bump out and play left tackle and get us through this and help us get a win?
Just do this.
You know, and he can, at a certain level that they can get you a win. He's a stud. That's all. That's all I wanted to say. Because we just throw that out there like it's nothing. Oh, just move Tooney out to left tackle, you know. Oh, great.
Yeah.
But it ain't that easy.
No.
Like, there's special guys that can do it. Like, Will Shields could do it. There's special guards. There's special guys that can just do it. But not very many.
Tooney's one of those guys.
Tooney's a special guy that can do it. One of the best offensive linemen in the league.
He's probably a Hall of Famer. I mean,
you are.
He's got rings with two teams. He's
got two
all
rings
pro.
with two teams.
Yeah.
He's right. You see what I'm saying, Jake?
Yeah.
It's just like it's just to have that break glass in case of emergency.
Nice thing.
Is, you know, it's tremendous. Later on in the show, Creed Humphrey was really good talking about the situation as well. And so we'll play Creed Humphrey around 8:30. Creed Humphrey will play some comments. I talked to Charles Omenihu about his return to playing after suffering that knee injury. They had him out for almost a year. And also Matt Arisa, the puncher, the holder.
The tackler.
The tackler. The special teamer.
Special teams tackler.
Right. And look, it's not for nothing. Now they've had 3 kickers that have all just been making kicks, and he's the holder.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard to be able to get everyone on the same page. Field goals ain't easy. Look around the league. Just talk to the Ravens and how easy field goals and extra points are.
Talk to the Raiders.
Right. Well, they couldn't even get to the field goal.
Oh, they did several times.
You know. Right. But those are long.
They were long.
You know.
We were watching warm-ups before the game. I was like, I don't think we got long field goals coming today.
No, sir.
And it wasn't crazy windy. It was just one of those days. It just it wasn't going to happen.
Not a good kicking day.
No.
We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB. Pete Sweeney's on his way in here from Arrowhead Pride. I'm just going to tell you this. He said something about bringing breakfast or donuts, and I'm going to guess he didn't, but he teased me with it.
He was trying to hit that 11-legger.
I know, but still. Oh, really?
He's bringing
his family's
coming.
Listen.
Someone in the press box passed out another pick six winner. It's Stephen St. John.
All six.
Yeah, we all tailed it.
Just handing out free money. Up there.
Free money.
You want to know what it was? I'll tell you what it was. I mean, just for.
I'll tell you what.
I tried to tell Pete.
It right here.
I tried to tell Pete.
I got it. Would Abdullah have more or less than 27 yards rushing? More. Nick Bolton, more or less than 6.5 tackles plus assist. We got a little scared when he got groined. He got the groin, but he got back up in there, got him 11.
These are all my picks before the game. Listen.
Brock Bowers over 63. That was pretty easy.
No-brainer.
140. Noah Gray, 23.5. Got 27 on his first catch.
Mm-hmm.
D-Hop, this is the one we sweated out a little bit. 3.5 catches. He dropped the one that was the fourth
know.
catch, but he got it.
We had to wait for him to get number 4. That was it right there.
Xavier Worthy over 34.5. 54. We got those done. It was the first minute of the fourth quarter.
I hit on all 6 of them, Jake. Second time this year I've done that.
And you know who lost out on this? Paige, because she didn't come to work.
Mm-hmm.
She should have been there, and she would have been on it. Pete benefited. Pete had we were ticking off a 10-legger for Pete, and it just it got harder and harder as the Chiefs didn't cover by 6.5.
Jake, I'm gonna have to start sending.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen St. John.
I'm gonna start sending you my pick 6 picks. Listen
Send
here.
them my way.
I think they only work if you're in the press box.
But let me listen to this, and then because we got Chiefs coming up, we got Pete Sweeney coming up, we got Catherine Tappan, we got Bill Moss, we got Brady Cook on the show at 9:30. Listen to me.
Let Brady cook.
Last night, when I'm watching Yellowstone, and when Casey Dutton got in the back of that man's car.
Spoiler alert.
They know I'm talking about Yellowstone. That's all I'm going to tell you right now. When he got in the back seat of that man's car, and the speech he gave and what he said, I had to rewind that and probably watch it 2 or 3 times.
You should be crying.
That was one of the best moments. It's the best moment of the season.
Explain this to your wife.
Maybe
at dinner.
one of the best moments of the series.
Yeah, that's right. You should be crying.
But everything he rattled off, like it was so much. Like I got to hear that again.
Yeah.
Let me hear
12
that
years
one
on
more
the SEALs
time.
teams.
Let me hear that one more
You
time.
didn't build the family out?
Right. Stupid.
You didn't build
And
the
now-
family out.
Okay, spoiler alert again if you didn't watch it, which I don't know why you didn't. It was last night.
Right.
I'm waiting to beat to let people, if they want to cover their ears or whatever.
Earmuffs.
Why do you got to kill off Colby? Why
You
you
gotta
got to
have
do
some-
that?
You got to have something bad happen.
Yeah,
No,
somebody
you don't
had to
have,
go.
You don't have to have something like that happen.
You do.
He's just out there working the ranch.
It wasn't for no reason, though.
And I understand that. But he's
in love. He just professed his love to Teeter.
That destroys Teeter.
Yeah.
That broke her heart. And I was not very happy about it either. Because I like Colby.
But you got to have
he's got
that.
a good heart. And he's just there trying to do what's
What's the
right.
kid's name? Chance or something?
And I didn't like
Carter.
Carter.
Okay.
You got to have Carter
Understand.
be broken.
Yeah, well,
you
he's
know,
a
feel
pretty
like
broke
he's got.
kid.
I know, but now you got
That
to
horse
put
almost
more
broke
on him.
him.
You got to put more on him.
I didn't like that.
And that opens
He's
up.
a man-eater.
You know? I didn't like that at all.
But
Can I give you one complaint about the show?
R.I.P. Colby.
I'm gonna give you a complaint about the
I
show.
pour one out for Colby. You don't look past him.
All
right?
these people.
Now I'm gonna tell you this right now. They better leave Lloyd alone. Let Lloyd live. Let Lloyd live.
All of these people who are the Cowboys, the Cowboys, Lloyd, Teeter,
What are you
Colby.
gonna say? Don't say nothing to ruin it.
I'm
What?
just gonna say this. This is I'm gonna say. This is a problem I have with the show a little bit.
I don't.
Their teeth are all too perfect.
Jesus.
These people living in damn
How do you know?
roadhouses. Look at they're all got these
How do you
white
know they
ass.
don't take care of their teeth?
Listen, the hard lives these people had, they ain't.
they probably had them all knocked out. They're probably veneers.
No, I don't
That's
know,
a good.
man.
That's a good point right there. That horse was knocking out some teeth.
Too shiny.
And I'm gonna tell you
Yeah,
what.
they need some tobacco.
And I'm
Yes,
glad.
you won't be able to unsee this.
And
when
I'm
you watch the
glad
show.
that Mo Brings Plenty picked up Casey.
Yeah.
We're
He's
counting
great.
coup today on New
Yeah.
Day with SSJ.
I'm going to count coup at 10 o'clock this
No,
morning.
you're not. You need to relax.
I'm going to count coup. Someone's going to pay today.
Boy, I can't wait to the next episode. There's only 2 more. That's it.
For the whole show forever?
And that's it. Well,
who knows?
Cole Hauser, who plays Rip, has said, and Kelly Riley, they've said, who plays Beth, that they are willing to carry on the series.
Oh, you think? To make money and have lots of people watch?
But some people want to be done and go make movies or do, it's weird, man. Some people say, I'm done doing this.
Cole Hauser
Let's
wants
go.
to go back and be part of Dazed and Confused 30 years later.
Cole Hauser can do whatever he wants right now.
That's my favorite part about Cole Hauser. He's just like Ben Affleck and Matt
Oh,
Damon's
here
little
he
friend.
is. I don't see any donuts in his hand.
He ain't got no donut.
I don't see nothing in his
McConaughey's boy.
hand.
That's McConaughey's boy.
What the hell? I picked 6 for him, and that's it?
We got nothing? We can't hear you.
We'll take a break. Colby, you know what? He made a sacrifice. And that's got to count for something.
Yep. You got to make it worth
right.
something.
Back into this on WHB.